Hello, welcome everyone to the next session from vk.com. So I'm really looking forward to that one because it's very interesting, but our world is actually not so, in Europe it's not, people are not so aware about it. So Maxim, welcome, the stage is yours.
Yeah, hi everybody, thanks for coming. My name is Maxim, I'm a developer advocate in vk.com gaming platform, and I'm come here to find out an answer to just one question. Why and how can developers use VK gaming platform while launching in Russia? To answer this question objectively and in detail, I will divide it into three parts and look at each one separately. It should help us to sort all information about Russian mobile games market and VK platform out, and after that see into why the platform is important while launching in Russia. So here is the questions. First one is, why is it important not to ignore VK while working in Russia? Second, what does VK gaming platform bring to developers? And third, how to use VK instruments in the strategy on the Russian market. So let's start with the first one. Why is it important not to ignore VK while working in Russia? According to Apenia survey, the Russian mobile games market, is the 5th by downloads in the whole world and 9th by the revenue. And in the Google Play, Russian mobile games market, is the 4th by downloads and 10th by revenue. It's a big, huge market, and nobody wants to miss this market. Talking about the whole Russian mobile games market size, I can say that according to Mail.ru Group survey, over the period 2010 to 2014, Russian mobile games market size increased from 500 million rubles to 8.8 billion rubles. It's about 18 times in 5 years. This cake is growing by leaps and bounds, and now it is your turn to add ingredients to this cake, make it bigger, and cut the piece as big as you wish. Also, I would like to say that VK is booming now. We grow very fast. For the last year, we have grown from 55 to 70 million daily active users, unique daily active users, or approximately 30%. But as I think, the most impressive thing that by the same period, we have grown for 70% with our mobile audience. And so, how to gain access to all these people, the largest mobile game audience in Russia? We can help developers with this with our mobile gaming platform. What is this platform? Our mobile gaming platform is a set of SDK for Android, iOS, and Windows Phone. It's a catalog in our mobile clients, and it's an instrument for make interactions with users in games. Over a year ago, when we launched our mobile platform, we had 10 million monthly active users, and right now the number is growing. And in last month, we have 16 million daily active, monthly active users in our gaming catalog, and this number is growing. This gamers audience is much bigger than in all other social networks together in Russia. So this is a chart of our games section in our catalog. So let's go to the next question. What does VK gaming platform bring to developers? As we found out before, the Russian games market grows and become more noticeable in the world. And how the developers can get users from the Russian market? By launching in the VK mobile catalog and using instruments to operate with the catalog and social graph. What developers need to launch in the catalog. First, it's a desire to gain access to the largest Russian mobile audience. Second, it's just a few days for SDK integration and implementation of some core mechanics necessary to launch. What is this mechanics? It's authorization for user with VK. Second, it's a button to join official game community in VK. It is necessary because large number of our users using communities and they really like them. And the third one is the payment tracking, because we work on revenue share model and we share revenue from users who install game from our mobile catalog. After all integration, the game can be sent for our quick moderation, and when it passes the moderation, it appears in catalog, and all gaming audience can find the game in our VK mobile clients, go to store and download them. After user authorization, developer gain access to user social graph and a big amount of instruments for involving and bringing users back into the game. So what is this instruments and how it works? First, it's social instruments. It's the methods to make a direct communication between users using the advantages of social networks. It's all kind of requests, invites, wall posts, and other things. These things make game communication easier and keep it inside the game and inside the game catalog. The second one is game center instruments. This activities does not require direct user participation because they can make competitions between users easier. These methods are friend activities which filled with levels, scores, unlocked achievements, and leaderboards sorted by level of score. And the third one, it's catalog instruments. It's the things which everybody loves more. It's all kind of featurings, like featuring for new games, thematic collections, editor's choice, and other ones. Now, when we learn the instruments, let's make a little stop on how to use these instruments into the strategy on the Russian market. About the integration, we know that every time SDK integration is a tough task for developers, and we try to make it as simple as we can. So we give developers a simple step-by-step guide, which split whole integration process into the small steps, so you can estimate the amount of required work for integration, and also this time you can see the finish line ahead, so you can it make all integration very easy. The second one, it's moderation, because every game should pass our moderation to appear in catalog, and we know that nobody loves moderation. We also don't love moderation, thanks to Apple. And we make a public moderation checklist. So the whole list of checkpoints for games is available in this public for everybody in this public checklist. So everybody, we and developers have the same information about requirements, and you can be sure that if you test your game by all these points in checklist and you pass them, you will appear in the catalog, in our mobile catalog. Let's make a little stop on integrated instruments. We divide it into three parts, as I said before: social, game center, and catalog instruments. I want to make a little stop on the advantages and the points that you should take care of. Social instruments is the most effective way to engage users. They make direct face-to-face communication in game possible, inviting and returning users. But these instruments are the most dangerous because they can cause irritation if they are used very often. This all may lead to the point of no return, which means that your potential user blocks all invites and requests of the game. Next one is the Game Center instruments. It's a little bit less effective than social in inviting users, but this instrument is engage users by competitive and recommendation functions like leaderboards, friends, activity feeds, suggestions for missions, and daily talks. And it means that they are embedded in the system, and users like recommendations, and they can bund these instruments. And the third one is catalog instruments. It's, as I said before, is all about featuring. Editor's choice, new games, thematic collections are excellent recommendations for gamers' leisure time. And I want make a little stop. I go to finish on my presentation. It's the point of no return. As I said before, it's that level of gaming interaction when a user is obsessed or annoyed with the game. It's the other side of social interaction and virality, and it leads to the fact that the potential user with a very high probability will never become your player. And developer talent is about to play with the balance near the point of no return, using the maximum number of social instruments with the highest conversion rate without going to the other side of the barricades, so crossing the point of no return. And that's why VK focuses on the Game Center instruments to engage and involve users and limiting the social activities. It allows us to maintain a fragile and stable balance of involving users by social instruments. So it's all about VK gaming platform. We're really hungry for your games. We welcome you to launch games in our mobile catalog. So, and if you have any questions, it will be great to answer them. So thank you. If you have any questions after, you can write us on the games@vk.com and we will answer. And thanks, DevGam. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Maxim. Any questions?
Hello. And how to get featuring in your catalog?
It's very simple. For new games featuring, if you just appear in catalog, you just need to press one button and choose the date when you want to appear in this featuring block. After new games featuring, you can send your game for us to appear in editor's choice and thematic collections. We have support system and guys who work in 24 hours, 7 days a week in this support, and they will answer very quickly what you need to do to appear in this featuring like editor's choice. You just need to write, and we want these dates, for example, for a week or for 10 days in this featuring. It's why we want. Please tell us what we need to do next. The most times it's about, okay, we'll put you in this featuring. It's simple, very simple.
And how much users will come from the featuring?
As we don't launch, haven't launched our new mobile catalog yet. We will launch this on 15 October. So that we can count how much users you can get. So I can share this information later after we launch the catalog.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Okay, I have actually a question. So I'm wondering, it seems like it has huge potential, and how do you make developers aware of this potential? You make use of it, of VK?
Excuse me, can you repeat?
How do you make developers, especially in Germany or Europe, aware of the potential? How can you attract them?
I think we can attract because the Russian market is very large, and as I know, a lot of developers ignore this market because they think that there are no interesting things in the Russian market which they can work with. And we said that we are a big market. So we're fourth by downloads and ninth by revenue in the whole world. And a lot of developers miss this market, working just maybe in Europe, in USA. And we can help developers with gaining users because we are ready to share our mobile audience with games and to help developers with these ones, with these things.
Yes, I hope the developers will recognize this potential. So thank you so much for the talk, and thank you, Maxim.
Thanks.